Oh, sorry. I'm still surprised. What's going on, Duval? About this is, of course, Kyle Nash, the student of the game of the Duval Dive, here with your instant reaction to the Jags first round pick here. And hey, listen, it's early enough. Maybe they'll do another first round pick. You can't rule it out with the craziness already. If you had the Jacksonville Jaguars going up in the draft on your bingo card, consider yourself a winner of the jackpot, because I sure didn't, as they leapfrog into the second overall pick with the Cleveland Browns. They had a trade. Eric Armstead comes out and announces for all the Travis Hunters that Travis Hunter is a Jacksonville Jaguar. I need a little help with this, and what better way to call for help than to call upon my personal champion and card carrying member of the Duval Devout, Travis T. Holmes, Big Cat Country. Travis, I didn't even have time to put my hat on before this episode. People get to see my beautiful hair tonight.
Hey man, it's a new day in Duval. I mean, we thought it might be possible. We kind of heard the rumblings of it potentially being possible, and now we know. Oh no, these boys ain't playing. All right, cool. Let's go.
Ain't playing is the cornerstone of understatement here in this draft world. Here, I don't even know what's happening at pick 3. I don't care right now. I can look that up later. This isn't a giant show. Travis Hunter is a Jaguar. It still feels weird. A guy who I saw make the most athletic play in the bounce house is a Jaguar. By the way, shouts to my guys, Black and Gold Banneret. But, I mean, first of all, obviously, you and I have waxed poetic about what Travis Hunter could be, not just as a corner, but also as a just a force in general on offense. I called for the bookend, wide receivers long, all of that. All of that is a thing. But bring us to pragmatism, Travis. What did exactly they haul here?
Well, I mean, the Jaguars had to. The Jaguars gave up the 5th overall pick, 2nd round pick, number 36, a 4th round pick, number 126, and their 2026 first round pick to the Browns. They did get back not just the number 2 overall pick, but also the 4th pick in this draft. So 104. So it's more like just they move back in the 4th round. It's actually not that bad. And a 6th round pick. So they get back 104, they get back 200, and they get the number 2 pick in the draft. Like, that's not that bad for the talent that you're getting in Travis Hunter. It is what it is, man.
And obviously we're getting some stuff in the comments. Hef making some great points here. 0 conversation since the combine is wild. And I thought they'd send someone down south or up north to Colorado. But we heard about this from GM James Gladstone and Coach Liam Cohen. Specifically, Gladstone mentioned, hey, Zoom calls are a thing. Blame the pandemic. That's how you got fooled here, the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguar first round.
Them boys went from Travis Hunter was the favorite in November, December, January, etc., to Ted McMillan being the favorite, to Will Campbell, to Will Graham, to Ashton Genty recently and being out on Ted McMillan. All of this chaos to go right back to Travis Hunter. Now we listened to everybody else, and he was absolutely the best. Let's do this. Like I love this, man. They said they were going to be bold, and then they turn around and they do exactly that. I think this is incredible. But matter of fact, instead of me saying it, I'm gonna let James Gladstone say it for himself.
Hey, one of the trademarks of our leadership group is that when there's an opportunity to be bold, we won't flinch.
Woo. Wow, that seems so much profound and prophetic here at this point. Travis, I have a question. Do you think this pick is intangibly rich?
Sure. I mean, if you've heard nothing else in this draft class, you've heard that the 2 people that had the most, we won't say intangibly rich, but the people who were like, they had the biggest leadership traits out of this draft class were 2 people, Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, and a lot of people named Walker also. Like, I mean, cool. But nevertheless, those 2 were the top 2 guys. And you got the second. I mean, there's a reason this guy was the number 1 the true number one prospect in this draft class. Like, and I say true number one because quarterbacks are obviously going to be a little different as far as Cam Ward is concerned. But for the most part, everyone in every draft board had this guy labeled as their number one. Jacksonville Jaguars got him. Hopefully, he's going to be exactly what they want him to be as far as, I mean, Hef just kind of spelled it out right there. He's going to be a wide receiver first, maybe playing a little bit at corner, maybe giving him a little bit of packages here and there. But for the most part, he's going to be your wide receiver 2-1. I mean, I don't want to say one automatically, but it feels.
Listen, I'm treating this like Reggie Bush. Make no assumptions of where he's playing. And when he came out for the Saints, he was often a gadget guy, a distraction, if you will, and fooled the bleep out of people for the first half of the season before he actually got the ball. Now, do I think that'll happen here? No, but I'm more focused on don't put him in. He's going to play outside. He's going to play inside. Maybe they'll run. You could go spreads a complete spread with 4 wide receivers and have BTJ and Travis Hunter both as slots. Nutty. Absolutely gross and awesome all at the same time.
Do y'all feel better about Dyami Brown as your number 3 receiver right now?
How it's boy
with BTJ, Travis Hunter, and Dyami Brown.
See,
Lord Jesus, pray for these DBs.
Pray for these DBs. Maybe I'm the problem, okay? But I think he plays more corner than receiver, at least to start with. And let's not rule out. Maybe they'll get an air quotes true receiver later in the draft. We've mocked Savion Williams quite extensively here on the Duval Dive. But I'm
just telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I've heard. Multiple NFLs had Travis Hunter labeled as a receiver first and then the cornerback second. And the Jaguars were in those groups of teams who labeled Travis Hunter as a wide receiver first and a corner second. It's not to say he's not going to play any corner. It's not going to say he's going to play limited corner. I don't know how they want to do this. Maybe they'll get him on the field and just figure out what he does best in their system. Who knows? But we have time to figure that out.
That's true. No, I'm not declaring you wrong or me right or verse vice in any way. All I know is we have some alphabet soup thanks to Aiden. We went from Travis D. Holmes to Travis M.F. Hunter. That's what's right. So at days, and that's the piece there. But you mentioned the Hall, the Hall, Hual, that the Jags either gave up or got or whatever you want. Yeah. I heard you say something about the damage not being that bad for the Jags. Walk me through that.
Well, I was actually doing the math when we went live, but the gist of it being is the Jaguars, for the cost of anywhere from the Browns are going to win this trade. Let's just be clear. That was always going to win the trade because you're trading up. You're never going to get equal value unless the player just elite.
In air quotes though. Like
yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know who these other players are going to be drafted at these spots for these picks they gave up. So if they end up being just players instead of Hall of Fame players, if you get your guy and you believe in your guy, you go and grab your guy. They believed in Travis Hunter. They went and got him, and it's at the cost of, if they're a playoff team, let's say the Jacksonville Jaguars are drafting somewhere like 19th in the draft, 19th in the draft next year because they're a wild card playoff team. The cost of this trade basically would have cost them pick 48, a late second round pick. A mid to late second round pick. That's the cost of trading up 3 picks to grab the best player in this draft class.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. Not even. I'm not even blanking at that. Yeah, that's dope. So that's where I feel at that. Like that's if it works out and if they're just a middle of the pack team. That's not saying if they win the Super Bowl or something crazy like that, because then this becomes a pretty much it. My only point is if they did something wild like that, this trade basically is even. It's like they gave up nothing.
That's a great point by you. I really like how you landed that. Hef jumps in. This also feels like they believe the roster is close, but they are just going to keep bringing in competition. I don't know that I agree with the first part about the roster close, Hef, but what they have told you is that competition is going to be a thing. I think you're spot the hell on right there on that part. I'll put it this way, Hef. If they felt the roster was that close, they would not have brought in 4 separate offensive linemen. That is a complete revamp as for an NFL franchise. If you do that to a single room, forget the line in any position, right? I would say more so with other positions because the line needs 5 people, so you got a little bit more volume there. But yeah, at day's end, I'm with you. I think I don't think that's been a secret that this triumvirate, this trio, this I know the word is trio, but I said trio because I can. Whatever. Travis Hunter.
I mean, at the end of the day, like Gladstone has done pretty religiously this offseason exactly what he said he was going to do. And folks don't know how to feel about that. Like, folks really don't know how to feel about the fact that he was like,
his name's Robert. Robert knows how to feel about it. That's the thing. Bulky who? Let the healing begin, Travis Holmes. I'm not even a Jags fan, and I'm hyped. Let's go.
No, so yeah, I feel you, Robert. I got you. But at the end of all of it, like, it is a new day in Duval because not only are they transparent, not only are they vocal and public facing in their communication, both with the GM and the coach and the EVP, but also they seem to be honest. Like, and not in a way that's giving away trade secrets or anything like that, but they said, hey man, we want to do this, we want to get better. And like, unlike Trent Baalke, who says we need to get tougher, but then don't actually like invest in those defensive and offensive lines. Hey. They're saying we need to get tougher, and I want to bring in 4 offensive linemen. Oh, we need to get faster, or we need to get, whatever it is, less predictable, and we bring in a defensive coordinator who's going to do a little bit of that Fangio thing. Like, they've kind of shown they're going to do what they said. We want to be bold, and they are bold as hell on day 1 of the draft and pick number 2. Like, I don't have any other responses to that other than like, hey, man, they are who they say they are. We're going to have to start believing them, I guess.
This is a good question. Again, storm the desert, bro. You're a friggin' boss. And like, we have a lot of great commenters, but I got to give Storm the Desert credit for the banger to comment ratio. Basically, every time he swoops in, he's got a banger of a comment. And this is a question I'm gonna need you to field before you do anything else, Travis D. Holmes. Do they see him, Travis MF Hunter? Do they see him as the best prospect at 2 positions that can fill 2 spots on the roster? That's an interesting question.
That's one hell of a question, and I can't tell you, and I don't think anybody could tell you that. Let's
they bring up the receiver stats just so you can get a look at that.
All right, wait. Let make sure people can see them. Well, I mean, you have 100-yard. You have pretty much a religious 100-yard receiver.
A religious. Gotta have religion
as your number 2. Shout out to the 33rd team for this graphic. Also, as your number 2 receiver, you have a pretty much prototypical 100-yard receiver game in and game out on the other side of Brian Thomas Jr.
And by the way,
every Trevor Lawrence hater is out there trembling in their underwear. I promise you, because no one has any excuses now. Trev got 0 excuses with this wide receiver core. This is easily the best wide receiver core he's ever had, and I would even argue it's probably one of the better wide receiver cores in the NFL. And I don't think that's hyperbole to say that. To say that.
I'm not ready for that yet, but I can see why you would say it. I mean, considering
is Brian Thomas Jr. a top 10 receiver in the NFL? Top 10, just top 10.
Hear me out. By the way, there's every opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to prove. I was about to say Travis again. Trevor Lawrence to prove you right. Let me be clear. But let's not act like he hasn't had receiver duos that have turned in performances that rival Keaton McCardle and Jimmy Smith. That's a thing that's happened. But what you're telling me that this group has the potential to put those numbers in the rear view. Is that what I'm hearing, Travis Holmes?
I don't even think it's arguable, and I don't think I'm making a hot take.
I was just trying to bring some even keel, and like,
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guys who's done it, and they've done it at a hell of a high level so well, and all the past Jacksonville Jaguar receivers, whether that's Keenan McCardle, whether that's Jimmy Smith, what any of these guys. That's not shade at anyone. Yeah, that's not shade at anyone, or Alan Hearns, whoever. That's not shade. It's simply saying you're saying we have a top 10 wide receiver right now who the Jacksonville Jaguars have historically generally not had very many of them. I'm not going to say they have none because I don't think that's fair. But I think very many of them.
That's not
right. Maybe Jimmy Smith. But then you're talking about adding Travis Hunter, who's probably at minimum going to be a top, I don't know, 20 guy. Really? I think saying a top 20 receiver, top 25 receiver added to a top 10 receiver, and I'm sitting there like, bro, if he's just that, we are cooking. Like, I feel like that is a great situation. And I don't even see the rest of the draft class yet. So I'm curious of what these guys are going to do with this rest of this draft class, because obviously they won't have their second round pick because they traded that away. So I'm curious of how they're going to fill out the rest of this draft class without that second rounder. But hey, man, we're going to dance and we're going to laugh the day away from the moment.
Defensive tackle.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, I don't know. They probably you have to T. Wiggins said this. Tony Wiggins, Locked On Jaguars, has said this pretty frequently this offseason. You're going to know how they feel about this roster, and you're going to know how they feel about individual players by what they do in the draft.
By the way,
because
Travis, you know where else he said it? On this very show.
Also,
so there's that. Continue. Sorry.
So we will know how they feel about these guys based on what they do in the draft, because I mean, it's some of us, yes, you just can't pass up a good player, but also how they fill out the rest of this roster lets you know exactly how they feel about the team, whether that's that offensive line, whether that's that defensive line, etc. I've often said I don't know that defensive tackle 3 technique defensive tackle is our biggest need that has to be filled, etc. As far as the Mason Graham conversation, I was always saying the nose tackle conversation was where we needed to truly fill that gap. And you can get a good, solid run-stopping nose tackle up until the 5th, 6th, 7th round of this draft, at least, because there's such a deep class, and they don't generally get drafted high. I mean, Kenneth Grant maybe, and he may be a second-round pick. We'll see how that goes. So I'm feeling good right now, man.
I think that's the understatement of the century. Travis D. Holmes, yeah, I know we got limited time with you, but I'm going to ask you as many questions as I can before you got to run off. And
if I'm honest, I don't even know when I got to go off. I'm probably got to jump on this Zoom and see when they're going to start talking to Travis.
So, well, and Hef dropped some suggestions. I kind of like all of them. Ty Robinson, Thor Griffith, Cameron Jackson, I think are all options for directions they could go later in the rounds. But yeah, you know what? There's 2 things to your point that you made that Wiggs made, and I'll start to close the shop with this. They have proven maybe Gladstone had a pretty good book on Mason Smith after all, and B, boy, do they not really care for what Ryan Nielsen did with that defense.
Yes, but also F them picks. I said screw them picks on the socials when I said it, but you know the word.
Bleep damn picks. That's right.
It's less need all day. They don't say straight up F them picks, but they've also gotten acclimated to having to go through the draft without using a first round draft, having a first round draft pick, or in this situation, drafting a top 1 receiver or a top 1 receiver in this draft and not having a second round pick, and just shrugging their shoulders and saying that's fine. We know how to build through depth because we believe in our drafting that much.
Well, and let's be fair. Kudos. I mean, first of all, clap, and second, I mean, does it hurt the what's his word, boldness of the F them picks when they had 10 of them? Let's be real. I mean, it ain't like they're hurting for them picks. So
they got a boatload next year too.
What was it? 24 total in this and next season combined. Holla at your boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. A force in the AFC is on the board, and it could have started tonight here with the Jacksonville Jaguars trading up to number 2 overall with the Cleveland Browns to get Heisman Trophy winner out of Colorado, Travis Hunter, corner / receiver, or receiver / corner. If you believe Travis Holmes, and no matter what happens, I know that Travis is going to remember how good he feels tonight and that he's in the middle of it doing whatever he's doing for Big Cat Country. Tell the people where they can find all the ish you're doing over the weekend, because I know you're going to be busy as hell.
Oh, no, man. Yeah. Just keep it locked in at bigcatcountry.com. We'll have all the rookie media call wrap ups. I mean, we're going to talk to Travis Hunter tonight, and we'll talk to each of the draft prospects throughout the process. So just again, keep it locked in there. We will also talk to James Gladstone and Liam Cohen after the end of tonight. So again, keep it locked into the Jaguar socials, and then the off chance you actually missed the full interviews, stay tuned. BigCatCountry.com. We'll have the write ups there. Man, come on. But Travis D. Holmes on all socials, and let's do it. Duval, great night. Have fun. Make babies get drunk. Great time.
That's a heck of a thing. Travis, I'm going to cut you loose so you can go do reporter things. I got some other comments coming in. And listen, I want the
Yes,
people,
sir.
the Duval devout, see more of my pretty hair. So you take care, brother.
Yes, sir.
Travis D. Holmes doing the thing. I wanted to bring up here too. Storm the Desert has another comment here. If Hunter's health holds up, it's probably going to force teams to play off ball threes or too deep. Yeah, I agree with that. Targeting double teams with BTJ, and it's going to be a lot harder to do now. Buddy, I've had the conversation on this show. We live in a world where they could come out 4 wide, 3 wide. Your outside edges could be Travis Hunter one side. I shouldn't say edges, your outside receivers, whatever. Your Z receiver could be BTJ in the slot. Your X receiver could be De'Ami Brown. And now your Y receiver could be Travis Hunter. And you don't run that in the red zone. You run that when it's earlier in the game, or not early in the game necessarily, but you have field position that's not necessarily favorable, and you want to put a big gain on the table. You trot these 3 dudes out and spread, and Travis Etienne is a good enough receiver to where he could be an impact underneath. Guys, you got something here. And everybody will be sitting so far back, so many people underneath will still be a factor. I'm not here to tell you that Brenton Strange is going to break off an 80-yard pass, but he could get enough for a first down if the rest of the defense is sitting that far back. Brenton Strange can beat a linebacker core in coverage. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. So, yeah, I mean, once again, to your point, Storm, I think you nail it there. It's going to be a lot harder to account for when the offense is going full firepower. And with an upgraded offensive line in free agency already there, I'm not saying Super Bowl, I'm not saying playoffs necessarily, but in an AFC South division where a power vacuum is completely evident based on the way the Houston Texans performed last year, you certainly can't rule it out. So I'll leave all of that with that. What an amazing night if you're a member of the Duval Devout. Travis Hunter, a Jacksonville Jaguar, after a marquee pick, where the Jags swoop in after a trade to go from 5-2 with the Cleveland Browns. Yes, I said it all again because I'm still struggling to believe it's true. And I have an article to write on Fans First Sports Network. So, for Travis D. Holmes, this is Kyle Nash, the student of the game of Fans First Sports Network. Commenters, thank you. I guess Jacksonville Jaguars and James Gladstone. And Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli, thank you for being bold as heck with an intangibly rich action. So, yeah, with that in mind, until next time, everyone, class dismiss.